Today on the American side, we'll be talking about the immigration enforcements that are hitting American streets, American citizens, and American communities in ways that goes beyond the headlines. On January 24th, Federal Border Patrol agents shot and killed 37-year-old ICU nurse Alex Pretty in Minneapolis, the second U.S. citizen fatality linked to the surge in just 3 weeks. Agents claim Pretty approached armed. Multiple videos showed him holding a phone, not a weapon, as federal agents pepper sprayed and tackled him before he was shot multiple times.
Well, as I said last week, this federal occupation of Minnesota long ago stopped being a matter of immigration enforcement. It's a campaign of organized brutality against the people of our state. And today that campaign claimed another life. I've seen the videos from several angles, and it's sickening. But I have a strong statement here for our federal government. Minnesota's justice system will have the last word on this.
The killing sparked immediate outrage and mass protests. This follows the January 7th shooting of Renee Good, a U.S. citizen and legal observer at an ICE operation, whose death remains fiercely contested and part of the broader reckoning over federal tactics. What DHS calls enforcement, the Trump administration touting the largest immigration operation ever, has looked to Minnesota officials like a militarized occupation that ignores constitutional rights and local sovereignty. Federal claims of 10,000 arrests and removing the worst of the worst stand in tensions with state evidence and reporting. For many Minnesotans, especially immigrant families, day-to-day life has been upended by fear, displacement, and disruption. Minnesota's Attorney General Minneapolis and St. Paul have filed a federal lawsuit called Operations Metro Surge unconstitutional and unlawful, asserting violation of the First and 10th Amendments and the Administrative Procedure Act. They argue the federal rollout has led to warrantless stops, arrests of bystanders, racial profiling, and incursions into schools, churches, and hospitals. Across the country, more than 80 cities and local governments filed an amicus brief backing Minnesota's challenge, framing this as a threat to local public safety and constitutional order. This weekend, protests erupted not only in Minneapolis but nationwide, from Boston to LA, driven by grief and calls for accountability. Demonstrations demanding an end to the surge, justice for Pretty and Good, and broader federal immigration reforms. In Minnesota, labor unions and community groups are pushing for boycotts and economic actions against the ICE presence, while a growing strike movement seeks a statewide halt of operations and defunding of ICE altogether. At the heart of this crisis is transparency or the lack of it. Many federal agents still operate without body cameras. Critics say without clear footage, the truth of confrontation remains locked behind official narratives. Local leaders warn that trust between civil society and law enforcement is eroding fast, and especially when peaceful observers, workers, and off-duty residents are swept up in enforcement actions. Minnesotan residents describe this as a community under siege, not for crime, but from enforcement action that is meant to protect the law, yet impacting everyone in its path. What's unfolding in Minnesota isn't regional friction. It's a national test of federal power versus local governance, public safety versus civil liberties, immigration enforcement versus constitutional rights. Who gets protected and by whom? Whether you see Metro Surge as necessary law enforcement or a shocking abuse of power, the facts on the ground show a fractured social contract, because at America's core remains the same question. Who protects us? Under what authority? And at what cost? I'm Mahi Mustafa, and you've been watching The American Side. Until next time.